I'm live! Hot dog! 1 second. So if I haven't made it completely obviously clear what I'm doing, I am currently playing Elite Dangerous. A buddy of mine's over here playing a different game, and I'm kind of watching him while doing this. I'm also going to try and turn off my video on one side because bored. I want to go to the live stream. Also, Dr. Pepper is still what fuels gamers. I don't want to hear myself. How do I turn off my video? I just want to turn off the video. There we go. This way I can see the chat. So anyway, what we're doing in my in Elite is still trying to level up. I'm just trying to get a tiny bit better at what I do, so that I can get the ship that I kind of want. Now, I'm out here void opal mining. It's boring as all hell. Honestly, this is just because I want some extra money when I go into the whole deal. And I'm kind of on my way to do some missions that actually give me some ratings. So, whoops. Okay. Inventory, ship. I'm gonna need some stuff here. And basically, when you're doing void opal mining like this, you're just going to want to head to the asteroids and take a look at them for some pressure point cracks. Obviously, the color will draw you in, but sometimes it's really difficult to tell if this is the color. Usually, when it bleeds, like what you see up here, how up in the upper right here, it seems to be bleeding. It's usually a good indicator that you're in a spot that's somewhat reasonable. But the true measure of what's good for mining-wise is to actually find the pressure break points, the ones that you'd launch the seismic charges into. If you do not see them, you're probably not going to. What you'll find is that it's not really worth mining for void opals. It might be worth mining for something else, but you're not going to be breaking the asteroid apart. And I prefer to blow up asteroids where possible. Oh, I love this one. This is a super dense asteroid belt. I've done some upgrades to my ship since the last time anyone saw it. Specifically, I can now jump 29 light years out. Somewhat bright, but I can jump pretty good now. Not perfect yet, but I want to get the drive upgraded completely before I give up, or before I actually go for a journey out into the universe. But I'm looking forward to an actual trip out there. This is the Anaconda, I believe, is the name of this ship. I kind of wish the fighters that I had on this thing actually had some of these scanners, the pulse scanners and what have you. It would just make so much easier because these things, the fighters are so much more maneuverable, so I could quickly fly through this asteroid belt, finding what I'm looking for. Okay. typically speaking, when I'm doing this mining thing, as you can kind of see, it's an awful lot of super slow, boring shit. I'll typically tend to go to an area that's coalesced like that. Even though that color isn't quite right for what I'm looking for, oftentimes when you start heading to a concentration that's kind of like this, you can end up finding like something in the backfield that back there. It may actually be what you're looking for by just heading towards a cluster of them. But I'm not the guy that finds all the pristine ones. I know there's a group of people out there that know exactly where the pristines are and what have you, but I'm still in the central solar system of just normal people, and I just find random icy ones. Gotta be impressed that I didn't hit the asteroid. At least I'm impressed that I didn't hit it. Alright. The big one is I've only got 30 limpet drones with me. I don't really want to waste too many of them on dry wells. I like to utilize them because I'll lose a shitload of them just trying to harvest. The ship is too big, and oftentimes when I get inside of an asteroid belt or whatever, once I get inside of one of the broken ones, it will typically tend to be a pain in the ass on that. Hey, look, chicken. See, I'm watching Gish. If 392 over here play some, I forget what he's called, like Stellaris, that's what it was. He named the primary faction after, you know, me. His faction. Because we're crazy people. I'm sure I already looked at this one. Yeah, I haven't seen anything that strikes me as what I wanted to see. So I'm going to head back to this one and probably try one more time, because this one's got the right color. I know I've checked this one out a couple of times already, but this one didn't look right. But it does kind of look okay. I mean, it's probably not perfect, but it may not work at all. So we'll go ahead and launch a prospecting limpet and see what we get for our efforts out of it. Well, maybe not. There it goes. So we'll find out in a second what we got. Yeah, absolutely nothing. Just like I was worried I might end up with. So, completely useless, dry well. I kind of knew once I saw it that it would be that way, but it has an awful lot of what I'm looking for color-wise for this, and I didn't see anything specific, so that's my bad for being stupid. Well, now that one actually seemed to have when I was passing by, I thought I saw a stress fracture point, so I wanted to take a look at it real quick. Clearly this is not one for it. It's a useless well again, but big frickin' whoop, I suppose. This is probably the big problem with not finding pristine rather, well, I mean rings or whatever. That's probably the big reason why people go to those is because every square inch or whatever is a lot more full of shit. They do that. Jackasses do be declaring war an awful lot. Okay. So when I've said I typically tend to find clusters or whatever, when I was rushing over here, that's one of the things I noticed, that there seemed to be a cluster of them back behind these rocks back here. And while it may not be perfect, I may find what I'm looking for in one of these here. Suggest that this is the wrong color because it's too yellow. When you start getting closer to it, it typically tends to go darker or whatever, and it needs to kind of be a dark auburn kind of shit. But, well, this one's still got a lot of its color. So we'll look for a stress fracture point on this one, see what we see. And there is. There's one right there. Confirmed hit. I've got one for sure. There's another one right there. So this one definitely breaks apart, but it may not break apart and do anything we need it to do. I mean, by that I mean it may not have a void opal. It may simply have something else. But I'll take something else at this point. Bromolite. See?
Asteroid scan complete.
So we'll break this thing open. One of these is probably going to be a low strength, so we hit it with barely enough, and 72 seconds to make something happen here. And that should put it right at the right spot. And look at there, 48 seconds. Satisfying things about mining is blowing up asteroids. Come on, stop going forward. Typically when I'm doing this particular thing here, I will try to just hover outside the range and let the limpet drones do what they do, which, as it turns out, doesn't look like they're doing anything right now. It's kind of weird. The big thing is that this other gun here, the one really super low slung, is actually a it's actually a gun turret that can be manned by friendlies. And if these limpet collectors aren't going to do anything, man. invalid targets, dude. I have a feeling that... Well, no.
Programming limpet drone.
Go get it, you fucker. Man, dude. Well, shit, I hit the wrong button for that one. So, my bad.
Prospector limpet engaged. Asteroid scan complete.
Okay, I think that's probably what was going on. They were on the remove, they were on the ignore list. And so the prospector limpets weren't doing their job because I was ignoring this particular one before. I believe that's what was going on. So that's kind of a useful thing to keep in mind. They won't do the job if you're ignoring them. And part of that was because I had a bunch of these things, like I had done one of these earlier, and could not, couldn't do the job. Like I was just literally, I had a bunch of void opals that I got after the fact, and it was one of those, oh, look. So I dumped a bunch of this shit, and I just didn't want them to go after that. I didn't want to personally go after that. I wanted the void opals, which give me a lot more money. I mean, if we're looking at just inventory of cargo and shit, it's nothing. So So somewhere around here I've also got several of the deposits still that I'll have to deal with. But I don't want to move until these guys get the little ones, simply because if I move and put my ass into a spot where they get crushed, they're not smart enough to wait until I move properly or whatever, so pain in the ass. I think I got a few more this time than I did last time, but I may be wrong. I've been meaning to pick up more of the prospector or the limits in general, because I don't have enough to run an entire cargo full of void opals, and it actually is a surprise. Okay. But yeah, you can see as one passes by up here, I have another shot to make at this, or had, I would have if this thing flips just right. But yeah, Bromelite's like winning 10 cents in the lottery. You're like, great, I've got a asteroid that can explode. Oh, it's Bromelite. Minuteman Deep Space. But I think those three are the ones that I've got to deal with. Okay, so there's four more of the bromolite, or whatever the bromolite, yeah, um, deposits. Perfect. Doot doot. Okay, so once I got everything that I can, mine or whatever safely, they tend to be a little bit better at not getting destroyed, so I can like totally fly around a bit more. Not much, but a bit. And the last three I'll go ahead and grab real quick. They're fairly easy. Alright, so that should be everything of this in the area, except for the one that's coming into my inventory now. That'll give me something. The other question is, what is this? Limpet Prospector. Okay, cool. So then all we got to do is head on out of this frozen deposit of space. Find the next target, hopefully one that will actually have void opals. We are one jump away from the place that's selling void opals for 1.6 million credits. So each void opal is worth quite a pretty penny, but you do have to find them when you're looking around. It's kind of not an easy thing to find. So. Sweet. Okay. I thought I saw some rather dense looking asteroids here, so I thought I'd swing around real quick and check it out. I have this feeling that they're going to be the ones that I've already looked at. So I should actually double check to see if anybody's in my chat, because I doubt it. Hey, somebody's watching. So, yep, once again, in the super boring ass world of Elite Dangerous and looking for some Void Opals on my way to do some black box missions. The black box missions are going to be the ones that actually get me, you know, some real money. One of the things I forgot to do though was retract my cargo scoop so I could actually, you know, increase the battle speeds. But yeah, this doesn't look right. Damn, didn't see it. Okay, where is the asteroid that I was looking for? I don't think that was the asteroid that I was looking at, but whatever. Fast way to get back to full speed is hit the hit the boost, but sometimes you can't stop in time. Okay. There's the big giant gas cloud that I blew up. Something about this always strikes me as amazing. When you're inside the gas clouds or whatever, you almost always find these super bright spots here, you know, asteroids that are now suddenly brighter. It's like, oh hey look, I did this one, like this one right here. It's a great example. There's a bright ass fucking one. Okay. This one's definitely got the colors for a good, strong deposit. Or at least it did when we were approaching it. Now I don't know so much. Yes. This one's definitely got the right colors for it. So what I'm looking for now is I'm looking for the stress fractures, the breaks. Because there may be rich depository in this or something, but if it doesn't have those break points, those spots where, you know, it breaks, then there is no point in me mining this particular one because I have none of the subsurface ones or nothing. I've never seen this asteroid type actually have the break points, so I don't know, but I'm still going to send a limpet drone after it. I'm sure it's not right, but yeah, they always do this to me. It's like, it's so good looking, and then no, this kind doesn't actually have it. For whatever reason, it bugs the heck out of me. But anyway, look good on paper. I also use the where I have the selected void opal hotspot as kind of a workaround point. I drop in somewhere on the spot, and I'm always generally heading that direction because it's easy to not get lost. That way you're kind of just, everything behind this line I've already kind of checked. One of the other things I tend to do is I tend to launch my fighter when I'm in a spot that I'm worried about, you know, safety or whatever. But at the moment, I've had a security person already come and scan me once, and very little other contact. So I think I'm pretty fine on that as far as safety is concerned. So I haven't launched the fighter yet. But like I said, I kind of wish that my fighter did have. Well, here, actually, I'm going to go ahead and power down real quick, and I'll pull out the fighter and show you. I do have two different ones. I'll switch back in a second, since I can always just dock the thing and no big deal. This is the fighter. See, like I said, it would be so much more amazing to be able to look for this one here, because this ship is just way more maneuverable. This is my actual ship, the Anaconda, and everybody's just wondering what the hell I just did, and scared the hell out of my pilot over there, but that's about it. If she wouldn't move so much, it wouldn't be that hard. But anyway. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and switch back now. That sensor blurb right there is where I've already been. You can tell that's one of the asteroids I blew up. It always disrupts sensors when you're in there. So if you're getting raided by pirates or whatever, it's super easy to use that as a you know, oh, hey, look, you know, kind of super easy to use that. So I'm going to put my co-pilot here
Taking control now.
and make her fly that shit, because why the hell not? Ah, here we go, that's what I'm looking for. Unfortunately, I lost my Void Opal hotspot, I believe. Oh, no, wait. No, I didn't. Here it is. Okay, cool. Looks like she went to combat mode. But yeah, I mean, it would be so much easier to just use that fighter to zip around at much faster speeds, find what you're looking for, if I had a pulse scanner attached to it as well. I just can't upgrade the fighter. Ooh, there's a good one. Now typically the fighter, this pilot is a little different than some of my other ones. This one actually has a tendency to like stay way the hell away, at like a kilometer away or whatever. So it's kind of interesting to see the different pilots, the automatic pilots or whatever, what they do. I'm curious as to why I'm taking so long to get there, but whatever. But yeah, this Anaconda is, it's interesting and I like the ship, but I'm so looking forward to seeing what the what up, Leprechaun? Assuming somebody's actually still here. Sorry, I haven't been actually looking at the chat on my stream here. I'm just talking nonsense any which way, because why the hell not? But I'm looking forward to trying to actually get the. I've been trying to get enough prestige up to get the Empire Cruiser. I actually have all the mods for it and everything, so I can actually completely, you know, put all kinds of fins and customized paint jobs and everything on it. But I don't have nearly, I mean, I have the money pretty much any time, but not nearly the not nearly enough prestige with the faction. So I don't have enough rank with the faction. I'm currently Squire right now, actually. Squire? Knight. I'm finally Knight. Yesterday's mission was to get a tiny bit better, but I'm also still doing some void mining, void opal mining. And it's a good looking asteroid, but the question boils down to whether or not I'll see a fracture point on it. Doesn't look like it. Yeah. Doesn't quite look like it. Ah! Whew. Perfect. Okay. Trying to power down. I had to use the boost in order to straighten it out and not drift too badly. So, all of these look really promising though. This one and that one there both look super promising for void opal spots. This one just, it looks too good to not try. Sometimes I don't right away see, there's a stress fracture point, so there's one. Super happy. It's got void opals.
Asteroid scan complete. Programming limpet drone. Programming limpet drone.
I'm also sending this one over here because this was the other asteroid that I believe was supposed to have it.
Prospector limpet engaged.
Not so much, but I did find one. This is perfect news because
Asteroid scan complete.
this one's great news. So I'm gonna blow this frickin' popsicle stand.
Detonation sequence initiated.
Damn, I'm still going backwards. That's what's going on. This gets really hard when the throttle control is the hardest part of it. Gets super annoying because the throttle control can absolutely screw with me on this one, where I end up with a spot where I'm moving and didn't mean to. Perfect. Okay. Make sure we see this shit, because this is always fun when we blow up some stuff here.
Detonation in 10 seconds.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I got close. I got far enough away. So here we go. 2, 1. Load it up! Booyah! Not quite far enough away to stop the sensor disruption, but far enough away to enjoy myself anyway. I think I'm a little too far away for that to work out. Perfect. So the goal here is to try and stay far enough away where the limpet drones don't detonate on rocks and random shit, but close enough that I can load them up fairly quickly, and then hopefully see these other, as the asteroids drift apart, shoot some more and free them up. Theoretically, if I had a son of a bitch. That's exactly what happens. Like that limpet right there just ran into a rock or something, and
Programming limpet drone.
it doesn't know how to get around the thing, and it's just such a pain in the ass. Really, it's so sad because it's just like, oh man, that's so close. How come you could hit that thing so easily like that? But if I had a second crew member or something in this ship, they could actually be in the turret here, firing away when these things were available, so I wouldn't actually have to try to manually aim this thing at such a weird angle like it is.
Programming limpet drone.
Also, if I end up moving at just exactly the right time when they come charging in, they'll bash off my hull or something and then damage themselves, and I don't always tell that they're moving closer or whatever, so it's a real pain in the ass. But about half this game is just sitting there just waiting for this shit. So, but really nice thing about having the the large ship though, is that you've got a lot of space for some of the better stuff. Things like the awesome refinery, so I can actually have like, 9 items here, because this is actually a really big deal. It's like having a lot of empty spot in that can really be helpful. So let's see here. Further away, coming back. I'm also watching a friend as he's streaming, so So I'm kind of also watching a friend of mine stream as he's doing his thing. Whoops, 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 whoops. Don't exactly want to be moving too much. Just for that reason. Like I kind of miss my old ship. It was so small that I could get in here and do all kinds of stuff, no problem. But this one's so fucking unwieldy. It's just huge. When I try to go... Damn. When I try to go in there and do things like, you know, the final details here, get these last void opals or whatever, a lot of times I'll end up putting my rear end somewhere near a fucking asteroid or whatever, and it's just like, oh, what the hell? I didn't see it. How the hell was that possible? So... But yeah, back to the boring. Nobody watching shit. Told you it's a really boring job to sit here and void opal mine, but you can make a shitload of money if you go to the right spot. Like I said, I'm one hop away right now from the location where I can sell each one of these void opals for $1.6 million. So each one of these void opals is just absolutely extremely exorbitantly expensive at this place, and there's 7 of them right there, so that's a little over $8 million. So awesome. Looks like I got all the deposits. That's going to be good news. So all I got to do is wait for the limpets to go get their job, to do their job, and I'm going to go ahead and orient myself a little bit better towards the final goal of where we plan on going. So there you go. Like I said, the idea is to just try and make it as easy on these limpets as possible. I have found that if you're really wanting to do quick loading or something, since they always load from the back, you just pass whatever you're looking to load and just wait. They'll be behind you and they can just load real nice and quick. That has been pretty cool. Looks like we're starting to run out of some stuff here. So this will be good. I'm super happy I'm getting to watch my buddy play his game too. He's actually playing it on the Xbox, so I don't get to watch stuff as much anymore because I can't watch and stream at the same time. My internet's gotten a little slow in the last couple months, and so it's like, oh no. 2, 3. So there's a couple more out there. Once they say they have no more targets, I'm going to go check out what the other one out there is, but for now, we're just going to chill here for a bit. Okay, she is set to defend me. Okay. I was always worried when you first launch the fighter, it comes out and I seem to have to, this particular person at least, I seem to have to instruct them to defend me or else, you know, because it seems like they're not doing anything. So, okay, so those are the 3 that they've got there. I just have this feeling that there's a few more somewhere else that might be out of range of the limpets. Oh, that's probably the asteroid. Yeah, that's probably the, I remember now. Now, there was one more, I thought it had been that asteroid, but it could have been this one that was the super bright one. However, I don't see any stress fractures on this one just yet. So, we're going to just move on then. Yeah, I don't see anything that's valuable on this one. Oh dear. careful flying through some debris here. These asteroids do tend to rotate. Interestingly, just as I was explaining, looks like I lost my shields to one of those spinning asteroids right there. Knocked me right offline there. That was crazy. Okay. Okay, I think I did the spin on this one, so I'm not entirely sure which direction I was planning on going. I was planning on going the other direction. That's kind of weird. That's weird. So I took some damage. I didn't want to start immediately running some direction while there was the potential of no shields. And I could have swore there was a more dense asteroid on my route than that one. There it is. It was behind the rock. Okay. Like I was on my way and everything looked great, and then I ran into a fucking asteroid. My shields are back online. Barely. This is one of the kinds of asteroids that easily could have some fractures. It's got some extra hard points and stuff. But we'll just have to get out there and see if this one actually does have it. So. Yeah, this one doesn't look strong enough to actually have them. So. I've seen all kinds of asteroids have all kinds of colors and stuff, and then, you know, some that I did not think would have exploding points or whatever actually did. It was a crazy surprise. It's one of those, moments. But then there's been lots of others that were like, no, not so much. You know, things that just like you're thinking you're going to, thinking for sure this one can't possibly, is exactly what you're looking for, and it doesn't have it, and you're just like, oh, well, shit. So actually, finding the fracture points is almost exclusively important for this exact kind of thing. But finding one that ends up bleeding its color to other asteroids near it is a helpful indicator. It usually means it may be strong enough to do it. We're going to have to find the where we were our original route so we can go back. As I said, I tend to get a little distracted sometimes. I find a density pocket or something and start heading straight for it. It does mean that occasionally you'll end up finding or looking over the same areas that you've been before. That's kind of why I try very hard to use the little void opal hotspot when I'm looking for what I'm looking for. As I said once before, I've never actually seen one of these actually have stretch fracture points. But this one does look like it might actually have some. Well, this is pretty incredible. This asteroid looks somewhat breakable. Yeah. Every time I look at one of these, though, every single time, all I see is, well, this. An asteroid that looks great on paper when I get up there, but then I waste the limpet and it's not. So, I'm going to keep heading on. It's another one of those situations where I got one of those collector limpets a little too close to... Shit. let's go ahead and dock the fighter. She probably took a bit of a beating on that last one. We bounced off each other for a second there, so I'm gonna go ahead and dock that fighter since I don't need it out there right this second anymore. Okay. And you guys can kind of see I look around an awful lot inside the cockpit as well while doing this job, because it's really super useful. Sometimes what you're looking for is off to the corner, not where you're directly looking, and if you move around though, you kind of get disoriented, or it's easy to get lost. But boy, this one looks super good. The other thing is, I've noticed an awful lot of times it's super easy to get lost or like look over the same area, but it's also just as easy to find an asteroid that you hadn't looked at before, because it was hidden behind something. So sometimes it's super easy to discover that exact sort of thing. I don't directly see one of the familiar fracture points, but I'm going to go ahead and fire off a collector droid anyway and see. Limpet drone. See, it never hurts to look. So, big frickin' surprise, it's not good enough. And you can probably imagine that it's kind of easy to see that this one didn't have what I was looking for. That's interesting. This is headed towards the spot, but there's one of the spots that I blew up that another asteroid for the void opals. So that's kind of interesting. Bouncing. So notice that my shields didn't go down on that one, and yet somehow in that last hit I lost hull strength and my shields went down. So I must have hit it hard, or it hit me, just absolutely crushed me. It's actually kind of hard to tell what happened on the one that brought my shields down. One of the other things is, typically, I mean, if you're going faster, obviously more damage can occur. But I'm usually really good at not getting hit. But if you start putting a lot of power into your engines or whatever, this ship especially starts to drift an awful lot. So it can get a little interesting because of that. Alright, so here's an asteroid that's got some definite potential. Now, one of the guys, when I was watching, how to do this mining or whatever, had suggested that you turn off your flashlight, your headlights. Maybe that works for most people, but my monitor is super dark, and it just worked a lot better for me to leave the flashlight on, the headlamps on, because when I'm looking directly at a spot, you're visualizing, you could easily see. And it really highlights it. But he definitely suggested keeping the night vision on too, and I definitely have to do that. That's what actually allows me to see all of these things in all of this condition, because if I was to turn off the night vision, this place goes fucking creepy, and sometimes you don't want that. You want to be able to see the outline so you can kind of start preparing a rotation or an angle, something. So. Okay. Unfortunately, I did not find as many void opal spots as I would have liked to on this one. Somehow I see a bunch of spots that either I've been to or they've already exploded. It's like I haven't gotten very far away from my single mining spot so far. So keep looking left and looking right, and look, there's a cloud right there. I blew that one up. gonna get a little tight here. Okay. And just believe it or not, I did not crash. Amazingly enough as it sounds. Now this one has two potentials here. The one above me is going to be the hardest one to remember where it's at. Because when you start looking over these asteroids, a lot of times it's easy to get lost behind something like this. But both of these asteroids look like they have some serious potential to be what I'm looking for. Come on. Break the fuck free, damn it. This is the other reason that I have a hard time. This ship does not stop on a dime, and so sometimes, you know, you're just doing everything you can to slow the fucker down, and it just still crashes into something, and it's just like, gosh darn it. So yeah, it doesn't look like this one has any stress fractures on it at all. As I said before, there was another one in the area, so we want to try and look around before we go too far. I think that's it, but what I'm going to do is, well, find the one that I just found. And then head over there. This isn't right. I always lose that other one. Haha. If I just try to find the original orientation that I came in at it on, I'm usually good. But this is the other reason why I oftentimes will aim not quite at the asteroid and use a cockpit look to get past it, because I'm trying to drift past and find stuff like that. Now, when you can actually see them here in the night vision, this one actually has clear indications that it's got stress fractures. So this one, whether it has a void opal or not, we won't know. But this one definitely has at least one, and as it turns out, it's void opals. So this is awesome. This is going to give us the ability to do exactly what we want. We're going to be able to get some more void opals, and this trip will not be a complete waste. What do you know? I managed to hit that one just barely. Liquid oxygen. Alright, our big problem is we're gonna have to, oh dear. We're gonna have to get this one shot right there, and then head on out so that we can get out of range and blow it to heck and back. Oh dear. I parked myself a little close on that one. That's one of those, you just ride this one out and pray. Well, that's that. So, yep, my stream is completely empty, as it usually is. Oh, damn. Tell me I wasn't backing up again. Whoops. But yeah, like I said, one of the really cool things is that if I had a second person in the ship, they could actually man the gun turret down here and take the shots as we're parked here waiting for the limpets to get in. Boy, I don't know if I'm in range for that one. Yeah, I usually find 2 or 3 asteroids before I run out of limpets. Um, that is the only real sad part is I just run out of limpets in this one. This ship, all I'm doing is, I mean, I've got enough cargo space for quite a few things, and I just run out of limpets. Uh, Part of it's because things like just them running into things. One of my older ships, I had I forget what it's called now, but it was one of the Explorer ships that I had set up just to do this. It was barely big enough for anything, uh, and it did not have enough hard drive um, cargo space for anything, significant haul. All it was good for was about 15, 20 maybe. Um, but what it did do well, it never lost a limpet. That you know, it was always super easy to use that because it was so small. The limpets were always in perfect, working order up until the point where they just died from natural causes. But this one, it chews through them like candy. As soon as I get into a shot like this, trying to get these spots here, and finally got it. Um, but this one chews through them like candy, and part of it's because my ass is hanging out there, and I don't always know if it's free for them to dock or not. I mean, I'm like, I don't know. But sad, sad shame. Sad, sad shame. So I am doing other things while they are loading this shit up. Because if I move, I can break them. My goal is to try and fully utilize these limpet drones as much as possible now to see if I can just get some that finish off a single load, because I used to be able to do something like this, a whole load, no problem. And some of my other ships, I actually used to use the refinery, so the whole side refinery thing that you see on my cockpit. I literally use every space of it up, and hey-oh. I'd use every bit of it up, so that when I sold them, no, no, I can't see the chat window while I'm playing on this game. Uh, let's see here. How far along are we? We have 2 more collection spots to shoot, and just a few more void opals to mine. This is fantastic. So, wrong one. So, waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. I finally kind of waiting to see if I can get a shot on this without having to do anything extra. Because if I move, obviously I can lose the limpet droids. Okay. Oops, come on now. So 3 more void opals, which means that one there is getting 1. And these still have 100% hull strength. Excellent. So you guys know, if anybody's watching, here in Elite Dangerous, everything that's in space is taking steady, slow damage. Every item, just in general, will eventually take some damage. And when it gets to 0%, and the easy thing is, you can kind of see on this one here, it just happened on the screen there, one of these void opals went down to 30%. And 29%. They'll eventually just disappear, or cargo will actually explode. So it's usually that's a good measurement of whether or not you're going to find stuff. But when you do a combat mission or whatever, or a black box mission or something like it, a lot of times you'll find cargo all around the place. That cargo has not exploded. It hasn't taken any damage until the very moment that you got there. It didn't exist in the game until that moment, so. I can't tell if I can see that one or if it's... Oh, yes I can. So I'm going to hopefully make some space for this while those limpet drones go get the last 2 things, and then I'll be in good shape. Okay, so back to hunting for more void opals. As long as I have some limpets left, I'm always going to try to maximize it, because, as I said, I got 192 spaces of cargo, and with them being 1.6 million credits, it's worth it just to try and stock up with as much of those as you can. And I definitely appreciate the effort when I get the money. The biggest problem that I run into lately is that a lot of these are not in the Imperial section where I can get some creds for it. That's the biggest issue that I run into, but the heck with it. I will be heading back towards the station at some point so that I can go back to the black box missions that I have. I've got a ton of black box missions to finish, and these limpet drones are going to help me in tremendously in completing those real quick. Plus, I'll get some extra stuff for it too. So on the right here, we've got an asteroid that might have some spots, but we're going to only get a chance to see it as we go by it. I'm not stopping for that one because it didn't have the color scheme for it. So unless I happen to spot a fracture point, you don't really want to stop right away. That one looks promising, but not dark enough. The one up ahead is definitely the right color for it. But you can kind of see, I mean, some of these are super rare, like are super faded or whatever, so the closer we get, the less prominent they're going to be. The smaller it is, the less likely it is too, so. normally see at least one in my crazy spin here. Whoa, that's super bright. Okay, this one looks super promising. Let's just stare at this one for a second and see what we get our hands on. Doesn't look like it. I mean, as I said, a lot of the times the smaller they are, the harder they are to break apart. That right there might be one, but I don't think so. No. Well, maybe. You can kind of tell when it does go into the night vision mode. Like I said, I like to bring it up because I know most of the shapes of what they look like. But when when they're in night vision, they kind of stand out as to what you're looking at. So, whoops, probably ran one in, or it just could have run out of time. They do eventually physically expire like that, so it could have been its time. Sounds like it might have been, considering they both fell apart roughly at the same time. But that's just it. It's like I want them to, like, I've actually found some Void Opals back to back like that and use the same ones for some of them in some of the smaller ships. But this one has not been quite that lucky, honestly. In fact, I usually use 3 or 4 on one dang thing. It's actually been somewhat frustrating because of that. I thought I'd spin around because I thought I saw a fracture point on this one here. As I was coming through. It's not bright enough that it should be one, but it does look like, it might have had one, but it did not. So we're gonna get the hell out of here and recharge my shields fully. If you guys haven't noticed, one of the reasons why I keep running into things is because this ship was not exactly designed to run full tilt into the engines. But a lot of my other ships that used to do this particular run did run full engines. So I'm just kind of used to the drift on them, on how to handle it. And this one doesn't handle the drift half as effectively. Big fucking tonnage thing, and just kind of just runs into things. So, there's that. Let's see what we got here. Doesn't look like it. There we go. Well, now I'm heading the wrong way. But yeah, it's like if without a marker of some kind, it's super easy to get lost in this, in the astral belt, because there's nothing, there's no, I mean, aside from the planet that you're orbiting, and even then, can you guys see the planet? I haven't seen it in a while. I mean, honestly, I don't even know if I can see it at all. Now that I'm looking for it. Huh. All that I'm doing is getting dizzy. I haven't found the planet yet. I think it's over there somewhere, but it's quite a ways away. This is quite the well, the Conda is it's just a multi-purpose. It does an awful lot. But to answer the question somebody asked, it's deep. It's a deep blue. The planet? It's probably there somewhere. But yeah, the Conda is extremely good for it, and the reason why is because the cargo space is absolutely massive. I have a couple of passenger cabins for it that I could actually use for bigger stuff as well. But yeah, it's just massive. It's super useful. But yeah, it is. It's just extremely useful at the job, so it does its work pretty effectively. I actually, but I do have others that I've done it. I mean, I've done it with the Fer de Lance. I've done it with not the Mamba. I had the Crot, the Cot, the Crate, Kraiit, the Cot. I had that one as well, and that one was super good at it. But the cargo space was, as always, a problem. Actually, that particular one, it wasn't as cargo space as much as it was a problem with everything else. I love that ship, and it's a great medium-sized ship, and extremely effective at this. But this one holds 192 cargo, and I haven't really tried to maximize how much cargo I can carry into it. The COT 2 really didn't hold that much. Not even, maximizing it. Yeah, I'm on Twitch. It's Aeon Behemoth. That's where I think most people actually know me. I don't imagine anybody's actually watching me on Twitch, because nobody watches me on Twitch. But, whatever. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, there's a bright one. I think I'm going to drift a little bit out of my intended path. I don't actually care about the big long runs. Honestly, I only carried 30 limpet drones into this thing, which is what I carried in some of the other ones too. And this particular run is happening a lot slower than I would have liked, but then I'm not looking for the pristine ice rings either, so I can't really blame myself for what I find. I found some bromlite, which was pretty useless. But the big thing, the reason I'm doing the void opal mining anyway, is because I want money. I don't care too much about the money. Hey, look, I'm an idiot. It's literally all I'm here out for, though, is I'm out here looking for the money. So why in the hell should I suffer with something a little less, I have a feeling I'm going to pull up Twitch now. What do you mean for the carriers? Okay. Well, now I have somebody coming in. Well, whatever it was, it's gone now. Out of range of me. I was about to think about launching my fighter, but I don't seem to have to anymore. That one down there might be interesting. Oh, no, actually, the money I'm trying to build up, I need 177 million credits, which I actually just now have enough for it, but I need more than that to equip it when I finally get to that point. I need to get a few more levels for Imperial to pick up the cruiser. I have all the add-ons for the cruiser. Oh look, this one definitely has a stress fracture point. So I've been trying to build up a bunch of money for that, so that I'd be in good shape for it when it finally. Oh, bromlite. That's like I said, winning 10 cents in the lottery. Oh well.
Asteroid scan complete.
To hell with it, I'm going to blow it up anyway.
Programming
Oh, shit balls. You know what? Never mind. This one just cost me 2 fucking limpets. I'm done. I don't want it. Like, I saw the stress fracture points, and I'm thinking, yay, I found something! And then, aw, it's crap. But, yeah, anyway. I don't know if it's new. I mean, it's new-ish. A few years, maybe, not much. Oh, obviously, the whole game is new-ish in that respect. But it looks kind of like one of the cutters. It's the Imperial Cruiser. The thing is, I'm a nerd. I wanted to do something nerdy with it. I kind of spent some like $5 to get the extra fins and all the extra fancy stuff with it. Originally, I thought I was buying the ship. I thought you could buy the ship, but I'm an idiot, so I spent the money. And then afterwards, I realized that you can't. And I actually kind of like that about this game, that you can't pay to win that way. They're not going to try to make all their money on buying ships and stuff, so you get the better crap out of the gates. You have to kind of earn it. So, unfortunately, though, I need like a major rank in the Empire. So, so it's been a long time to get enough rank. I'm at knight status now. Knight status now, and even then, I barely made it to knight status last night. So, unfortunately, it takes quite a while for me to actually get anything. But of course, it wouldn't matter even if I had it right this second. I only have $112 million, so I'd have to sell this ship to get it done too. So I figured, what the hell, I might as well do another run. The reason I'm doing this Void Opal run anyway is because I'm about a single jump away from the nearby station that sells them for 1.6 million a pop. You kind of have to look to see where you can get that. Well, yeah, but I don't know anybody. Nobody plays this game that I know, and I'm on the computer, so... holy shit. So yeah, doing wing missions are almost always better wherever you can. But I don't have anybody that I play with, so fuck it. But I don't know, because I mean, I don't even know how many I've got in my inventory right now, but the Void Opals that I've got right now would probably get me about 70 million. 1 second, I'm trying to get back into, yeah, 30. Yeah, this will actually give me closer to 100 million. Huh? Oh. What about Discord? Don't I have this thing linked to my Discord? I actually have my own Discord chat so that I can actually theoretically talk to other people. But I don't see my Discord on right now. Then people bitch at me about having Discord. About having other random shit here. That is weird, my Discord isn't up. Huh, fuck it. Oh, don't do that! My computer just alt-tabbed at the worst possible moment. Okay. Nah. 8 limpets remaining. Quit it. Oh, find wings on? Yeah, I would, but I don't care. I don't know. I mean, I could easily find some wings or whatever on Discord, but the sad truth is that I'm just not that popular of a guy. People don't like me that much. No, I'm just kidding. The only thing that so far I found Discord was helpful for was, I mean, I love my Discord. I play a lot of MechWarrior Online. And I've got whole crews and stuff and channels and all kinds of crazy stuff on Discord. Woo. But I haven't actually found like anybody, like any groups or anything that you can check out. It's like, I don't make you cry. You cry on your own damn volition. I'm just a sad sack. It's like I started streaming just because it's like, well, maybe somebody wants to watch. I mean, I do some crazy, stupid stuff in the stream too, though. I mean, like I'm the only guy I know here that actually typically plays old school games that no one remembers. I just seems like a lot of fun to me to actually play some old ass games. But like my Twitch stream has no one that watches it. I've had hours and hours and hours of just sitting there playing MechWarrior and Minecraft and a couple of other things and just talk for hours just because I can. I play a lot of these games by myself because I can. This game is... I do plan at some point finding more players to play and assembling wings and stuff. I think it'd be a lot of fun. This game actually seems like it has a lot of potential for that. But I don't want to do a wing in this Anaconda. I'd rather grab my Fer de Lance. Twitch is hard though, yeah. But I've got hours of me making fun of the fact that nobody's watching my Twitch account. Then again, I got hours of me looking for a fucking asteroid in this belt. Trying to make sure I don't slam into the side of that rock. Yeah, a friend of mine is actually he's the one I'm watching. He's Gish. He's the one that suggested that I try Mixer, and then I watched a couple of what he was watching stream-wise, and it's interesting to me to see how streaming has become more about trying to get together with somebody that maybe cares, maybe doesn't, but just wants to hang out and play a game, watch someone else play a game. Oh, hey, nice. Does my stream actually do anything different? We're gonna say no, and I'm gonna crash into a rock. Crash into a rock, crash into a... No, I didn't crash into a rock. Nice try, though. So close. But yeah, this thing's... I actually lost my last Anaconda. I just got this one back. Yeah, streaming is a lot of networking, and I'm not so good with the networking thing. I mean, I know how to talk to people, but when it comes to online stuff, I'm an old school online gamer. We didn't talk a whole lot. It's like back before they had voice acting or voice anything. You didn't talk a whole lot. You just did your thing and you shut the hell up and you played your game and did it well. And then all this weird streaming stuff came on because, bald, old. So, I actually got somebody came into my channel a little while here on Mixer when I first began and called me something about Mr. Potato Head. I thought it was hilarious. Oh, this has got to be one. Come on, tell me you got one. I didn't see any stress fracture points on this, so it doesn't mean that there's anything here. But I'm hoping. Nothing! One of the things is when I did a search for how to find void opals and how to mine them one time, and the guy was talking about the color, and I kept finding things like that where I'd be, oh shit, where I'd find the color or whatever, it should be there, and it wasn't. And then only discover that it's not necessarily the color, because I've actually found a couple that were the wrong color that had the stress fracture points. So I just had to, somebody else was mentioning that you should look for that. The color will bring you to it. The stress fractures will be what you're really looking for. Yeah, I'm an old soul. I'm not just old, I'm an old soul. But I don't really know if the streaming thing will ever, be an amazing deal for me, but everybody used to tell me I should stream, I should do this because I talk an awful lot, naturally. But I'm also like constantly telling shit. It's yellow and glitchy. Yeah, yeah. That last one was too, though, and the difference is like this one right here is definitely not. But I've actually found a couple in this asteroid belt that, you know, just had the fractures. They just had that. They're yellow, but they don't really have the look. I mean, this one definitely doesn't. I knew it wouldn't, though. Come on. Ta-da. Something I don't understand about this is it was hot orange. Yeah, well, I've had a few. Um, like I said, ultimately, I mean, the yellow and glitchy part, you get a bunch of those from just their really weak sources too, though. I mean, if we look around, there's a... That's not a yellow. I'll find one. There'll be a couple of them that are just straight, and then you get close to them and they're like nothing. You know, so it's like it's supposed to be hot orange, yellow, with the when you get real close to them or whatever, they have this dark spot in them, and that's kind of why I said that one actually had it. It was actually a relatively rich deposit, but it's definitely not the right color. It's not the right asteroid. It doesn't have... Uh-oh. This will be bad if I hit that. Ah, I think I clipped it. Alright. But, you know, some of them have the right color. Like that one's yellow. It looks like it might be okay, but it's definitely not... It's not bright enough. This one's definitely not the right one. But if by passing by it you happen to see those fracture points, then you know absolutely. But the biggest one for me has been if one bleeds, like you got one bright enough that it kind of bleeds into another one, and you can kind of tell when you get there that it starts to shrink the location, like this one right here. That's usually a really good indicator that you're going to find something you're looking for. It's the shape. Yeah, well, it's that too. There's a specific number of them that have, like, there's about 4 different asteroid types that I have found. But that's all. This is all just frozen ones. Then there's also the then there also happens to be the rich ones, the rock ones, and each one of them has something special. See, I don't think this one's going to have it just because it's the wrong shape. Yeah, totally not it. Yep, we're moving on. I think, well, like I said, all I've ever had to do is just look for those fracture points, and I've been so much more successful finding what I'm looking for on them. So the color just kind of is a general guideline. You get the hell over there and you look at it. Okay. Ah, fuck. But you can't stay here. Okay. But yeah, this one here is bright enough that it could very well be something, but then the one to the right also could be too. So then, like I said, I just get nice and close and see if I can find the fractures on them. This one's definitely not right. What can I say, though? I'm the asshole that gets lost in a fucking paper bag. I can't. Sometimes I want to check that one next, and I miss it when I walk right past it. So I can't ever remember where the fuck I put it last. It's amazing how I got shit blowing, like it looks like it's about to blow up on my sensors. Sparks and shit everywhere. Like I only lost, what, 18%? Pretty terrible about that. Yeah, see, this one's technically bright enough that it could definitely be one. And in fact, there it is. There's a stress fracture right there. So, definitely saw one. Yep. This one's one of them. I'm 12? I'm 12 what? Oh, right. This one I hope you meant. Hey look, void opals! Sweet! Let's see here. Hey, what do you know? That one landed. That one, however, did not. Perfect. Okay. It did take a little while for me of practice for me to actually not over detonate these things. Sensor disruption. Still a little too close for that one. Like I said, this is pretty much the most boring part here for me. Because for this particular ship, it's way too big for this trick. So I can't get in there nice and close and do this. Like I did that with some of the other ones, the lighter, smaller ones. It's super easy to get in there in mine. Just easy, no problem. But this one's just too big. I lose too many limpet drones for this trick. So I just pop them off from here, do it at max range. I think I'm right on the target for that one. Ah, there it is. But the big one is trying to just be right on the money. This will be a good run considering. Damn, that one hit the back of my ship. See what I was like? If I'm not too careful when I hit the damn thing, I lose a damn collector limpet, and then I end up wasting 3 or 4 of them, along with 9 shots at this fucking thing. There it goes. Okay, hang on just 1 second here. That's kind of cool. I finally see what it looks like for someone to sub it. I can too see it with the headlights on. I have a plasma monitor. It's a 50-inch plasma screen, and it's an actual monitor, not a TV. So what happens is the light actually helps me. I tried it with just the night vision once before, and it's definitely easy once like you've looked at it. That's a spot, and then when you come off of it, the night vision kind of highlights it a little bit, and you're like, yes, that's the one. But this one's different. I have the only Xbox I have is a 360, which is why I was son of a bitch. Which is one of the reasons I was mentioning my buddy Gish he's the one that has an Xbox. Somebody gave him one, and he ended up getting the. He just ended up getting it. Yeah, that one expired from smashing into the side to try and grab that one. I just wish sometimes that they would have a little tiny bit more intelligence in mind when they're heading at an asteroid. They go around them okay, but then all of a sudden, but then there's also the glitches where I've had a couple of them inside and I've used my own shields to bounce them out. Whatever. But I love my PC. I love my PC. I've got it's a gaming rig. This thing was built for Star Citizen. I believe. I mean, if I didn't post it here, I definitely posted it on some other places like Twitch. But I posted a tour around the galaxy with Star Citizen, just to show some of the new changes and the new stuff that they've done. But I plan on doing a bit more. The trouble is that this game I can play with a mouse. Star Citizen, I don't really want to. I don't have my keyboard or my joystick anymore because it broke. I'm really good at breaking shit. So, oops. Wait. Yeah. That's weird. Oh, dumbass. I have no power for the blaster. Because I'm an idiot. Duh. Ta-da! Beautiful shot. Drag that sucker right on in there. But yeah, actually, I've had a few of the other people that follow my channel. They play this game on Xbox, and I kind of wish, because there's nothing really different as far as the Xbox and the PC. It's just the game developers that don't want to expand the platform. I wish that they would allow the ability to play on. It didn't matter whether it was Xbox or Microsoft product. You play a PC game on Xbox, or you play a game on PC, and the network world's connected together, so you can all do this. Because this is actually a large interior ship. I could have somebody else right here manning the lower gun down there. That's a turret-based gun that's designed for multiplayer. I just don't have any friends. I have one friend. He helped me out in getting this ship to begin with, and I don't really like the Anaconda that much. It's an okay ship. It's good for pretty much everything I want to do, and it's unlike the Cot, it's actually better. The crate, whatever you want to call it. It's actually better at survivability in combat. But when it comes to combat-only ship, I love the Fer-de-Lance. It's amazing. The Cot was amazing for everything else, but it does lack a little on the. It just lacks a tiny bit on combat, but it does have the fighter that you can drop off and do some really cool stuff with. Great, I lost another one. This will probably be the last run because I can't get any damn collector limpets to stop sucking. Looks like that is the last one. Yep, cool. So alright, so I've only got those ones left. Hopefully that'll get them all. For what, the Anaconda? Because so far I've upgraded my drive quite a few times, and I've barely gotten 29 unladen on it so far, and I'm still waiting for it. Fuel rat. See, that's the fuel rats that actually helped me with my Fer-de-Lance. My Fer-de-Lance ran out of fuel, like, easily, and did not have enough slots to do the void opal mining and everything else. But as a combat vessel, it does have a lot of options that make it much cooler. But yeah, I mean, this is like, I've got. Don't get me wrong, I do have a 6A in here. I know that the D is technically a lighter one, and therefore if I fully upgrade the D, I might do better. Where to go? Yeah, whatever. Nobody cares. But I have the 6A in the Anaconda, and 29 is still respectable to me. But yeah, it's all about the weight. I know that if I probably got the D and upgraded the D all the way through, I'd get better. But the sad thing is, like the 6A just has better stats on everything else out of the gates. So don't know. So I can't help myself. I'll look at it later though. Once I fully upgrade this one, then we'll talk. Um, because I assume that it's almost done. I assume it's all about the weight because I know that the D is the lower one. Cool. There he is. Excuse me a moment. I have an FSD. Where'd it go? I'm trying to remember where the hell am I. Oh, there it is, the frame shift drive. Here it is. I just have the 6A. So, you know, it weighs a little bit more. A lot more. It's 50 tons as opposed to 20 tons, I believe. So, but when you can see this one's only 4, I actually can upgrade this one 5 times. Plus, I still have other engineers that may be able to upgrade this thing much further than that. I've only made friendships with one engineer so far. I don't actually know how to make some of the other ones. I mean, I do, but they tell you. So it's like, hang on, where'd they go? Oh yeah, right over here. Under that one, there it is. No, not galactic powers. Uh-oh. Stop moving. There we go. Mouse controls, however, are really ganky because if you move that mouse even a little bit, all of a sudden, you're going all over the place. So, interesting. Yeah. A-rated is what I have, and that's the 6A. It's the best. I bought the best one. The D happens to be the lightest is all. So if you upgrade the D from all the engineers or whatever, theoretically it might be able to get you further. But I'm just like, I don't know why I care. Because if I can upgrade the A even more than this, right now I've already got 30, 29 jump range. I do have to find these Soon-Till relics to talk to this person. This guy's got, frame shift drives. He's able to do some stuff. And then this guy is all about the contract by killing bounties. This one I probably should get my Furdy Lance on just because it's easier for combat. But this person here, it's like if I just got some of these upgrades or whatever, it would not be a big problem. So, we are out of limpets. It is time to hop out of this place. It's a good thing I have the night vision on. Open space! Okay. And then I have the long-ass journey back to the station over here. Balls. Give me the realistic map so I can actually see the stupid star. That's an interesting question. There you are. Said it. But I do love the fact that I have what? Shit. I just remembered the unladen thing. I can only do 26 light years. It is 27 light years. What happens if I dump some? Let's start with 5 tons. What happens now? 27. I have 27. I have 27. I need 0.6. Okay. It's true. Probably can't. Because I'm an idiot, that's why. I don't wanna. Bromlite is worthless. I mean, you know, it's not worth less, but it's not worth void opals, and I can just dump it. That being said, I'm done trying to do that. So, all right, fine. I'll plot a route. Because, yeah, I just dumped all that cargo and did not need to do that, but fuck it. I picked it up earlier just in case a pirate came looking for it. You can dump some cargo and appease them rather than trying to kill them, but I'm not usually one to dump my cargo. Most pirates, I can just kill them, and by kill them, I just run them over. Just it's actually pretty amusing when you think about it. But yeah, my guess is that I just need to talk to other engineers because I've never actually fully maxed out anything from the engineers so far. This is all relatively new. The friend of mine that actually plays this game is the one that gave me the expansion pack. I've been out of work for the last couple of months, and so it's been a little trying. I don't even know. Like I actually have a link somewhere in one of my chats about the feed me treats. You send me food because I have nothing. I've been not working long enough that I'm just like broke all the time now. But that's one of the, like I said before, somebody was mentioning that I should stream, not because I talk all the time, but because I do a lot. I mean, I'm relatively educational. I can clearly get lost and confounded by my own shadow. Yeah, no, it won't affect player pirates. But fortunately, I don't have to worry about them very often. Not only do they not know where I'm at, except for, you know, clearly I'm streaming. But, oh shit, I gotta be careful here. This one's this one. Okay. Where is it? It's a long way away though, so it's like a 10-minute journey to get to the station in this area. But that's a white dwarf. Anybody that plays the game knows what those look like. They're not the most dangerous thing in the world, but they are definitely not good. You. So, yep, that's where I'm heading. But yeah, if I ever find a player pirate, I don't know what I'd do with myself. I mean, I'm a great pilot, and this ship is definitely no slouch when it comes to the weapons on it. One of the other reasons why I'm utilizing those large mount points with some pretty nasty stuff. So if I ever get around on somebody, I'll take their shields out in a heartbeat. What do you mean? What the hell just happened? This may be some of the experimental shit that I've got. Also, apparently I've got illicit cargo on here. What the hell's up with that? Oh, shit. So I'm going to have to try and go in quiet. The one that I Well, that's good that the stream looks nice. Um, apparently, the black box mission that had expired was also one that made the cargo not illicit. So now I have to use some stealth in order to get into the station when I finally get there. This will be fun. The hard part about this is it's not just stealth; it's also um, good. Like I don't have enough space on this thing to have the auto land or nothing. So it has to be good piloting too, because I'm gonna get scanned in most cases. But when you're on silent running and you hit in there and you hit everything just right, you get in there before anybody notices. But without it, no. Yeah, I don't know. I just my thing was saying that my frame shift was operating beyond its capacity just a second ago, and that had me a little terrified because it is a modified frame shift drive. It has been some of the things. It is a little less stable now, so it is a bit of an issue. Longer jumps are allowed with this modification, but at the cost of module integrity and power draw. It does have a higher mass because of this, but it does give a longer jump option. But the module integrity, I have taken a bit of damage, and so in theory, this may be a big problem for me because when I'm trying to get it up to maximum velocity, so this doesn't take 2-3 years to get out there, I could be putting too much stress on it while it's damaged. I don't know, maybe. I don't know. We'll find out, I suppose. But as long as I don't get non-important pirates out here, like, you know, silly pirates or whatever. Oh, can they? Okay. I mean, I've heard that before when I was nearby a. That's not a neutron star. That was a white dwarf, though. I think, because I still haven't discovered a neutron star, even though on one of these streaming events I actually went down to Jackson's Lighthouse to see it. I've been there before, but this one, I don't know. I don't understand. It never says I've discovered it, but this one says it's a white dwarf. If I remember right, white dwarf. This is the one where we warp in on. So yeah, there's only two things. Whoops. Only two things that like I haven't discovered. I really want to. I don't really want to go. Oh, hang on. It's over here. Codex. I've got the time. The astronomical bodies that I would like to see. I would like. I mean, I've already seen a white dwarf officially. I don't. I mean, a neutron star. I've seen Jackson's Lighthouse, but I probably would like to see a few more. I've been here more than a few times now, and it never says that I've found it. Oopsie. There we go. And then the other thing that I would like to see, maybe from afar, I would very much like to see a black hole from like, wait, I don't want to jump to it. I want to be able to jump out well outside of its just so far away that, oh, there it is. Okay, cool. And then get the hell out. Okay, that makes sense. I've heard that before about a white dwarf a few times. I've definitely found more than my fair share of white dwarfs. This one, however, is a star that I know of. This is a theoretical star, mind you, that it is one of the earliest star types. It is supposed to be the biggest of the stars and all kinds of crazy stuff. But in order to see any of this, I'd have to go way to hell over here, which I'm planning. At some point, I want to plan a trip out to Bernard's Loop, out there. Yeah, whatever. Nobody likes you anyway. But I really want to go to Bernard's Loop over here. This is where I want to head to. That's one of the reasons why I'm trying to upgrade my drive. But I'd also like to go ahead and get the Imperial Cruiser. It's just a better ship for everything. The Neutron Highway. I haven't actually gone anywhere. I've heard of other people going there. A lot of people, just in general, go out to. Like every time I see people, they're always heading towards Sagittarius A. It's like that's where you've got to go. But there was even a big event that it took like 3 months or 4 months to get to the other side of the galaxy from here. And they started off with like 700,000 ships, and they only ended up getting there with like 10. Uh, I'm just like, good God, that's crazy. But I definitely don't have the ship. This one could not make it as it is right this second that far. 20,000 light years. That's pretty cool. I haven't been outside this little section here. I mean, you look at the damn it. You look at the galaxy map around here, and what I have been to. Um, Obviously, I've bookmarked an awful lot of these locations and what have you, because these are all things that I wanted to go to. Some of them, like Bang out there, they're close to what I'm actually after when I finally do get some stuff. But then there's random things like Ross 47, Wolf 359. Any Star Trek fan gets it immediately. Shut up. uh, I wanted to get the permit to fly into Seoul before I left. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, I didn't get the chance to go on it. Again, I didn't have a ship that could handle it. Some of the other ships that I've got, the biggest, actually the longest range jump of any of the ships that I've got is now this one. And it's 29 unladen. This one is definitely the largest that I have. So cool, but I'm hoping to upgrade it fully and get it the hell ready because that'd be wonderful in my opinion. But you fuel rats are awesome. I never forget. I landed on a planet with my Fer-de-Lance and just was like, I'm out here. I've got one chunk. Like they have these in the Fer-de-Lance, especially, it's chunks. They got a thing in the bottom bar that they fill the smaller bar with up, and it's just. And I had one of them left, but that wasn't nearly enough to get me anywhere. It's just enough to show you're in trouble. Now you're screwed. And that was pretty hilarious. So I like called the fuel rats for help, and I'm like, I had a full cargo hold of void opals or low pressure diamonds or something, and I'm like, I'm happy to drop some for you guys or whatever because you saved my ass. In order to save fuel, all I did was land on a planet and turn everything except for life support off. Just turn it all down until I could figure out what to do about it. And it's like, oh yeah, fuel rats. That's what my friend told me. Because I was trying to get my friend to come help me out, and he was like, well, talk to the fuel rats. I'm like, yes, that's what I needed to do. So that was awesome that there was those guys out there. Oh, balls. There it is. After flying this far away, I have to do either an interdiction attempt or fight this son of a bitch. Hey, what do you know? This guy's not going to catch me this time. Had to have been an NPC. You're not allowed to take money. I mean, I guess I can see some of that, but it was super awesome to just, I mean, I wouldn't have cared. It's not like I'm giving you money. I'm giving you something to sell anyway. Because that's all you can do. You can't really do anything else. But I was loving the fact that you guys were there to save our asses. Because the Fer-de-Lance was awesome, but it's so easy to forget about fuel. Because I'd been flying stuff like this for a while, and you don't really think much of fuel. It's just super easy to kind of forget about it. Okay. Trying to come in in front of the landing pad here as much as possible so I can get in there. I'll tell you, the reason I lost this ship one time is I actually tried to dock. I got stuck. I got a fine and then they blasted me out of the out of the sky before I had a chance to do anything else. All right, so we're gonna have to come in somewhat hot, only because I don't want to pay a fine, and hope that I've got enough thermal capacity to get the job done before it becomes a real issue. Come on. There it is.
Warning. Temperature critical. Thermal signature restored. Landing gear deployed.
Man, I love it when that thing works out that pretty. it's a it's a badass organization. Um, and as I said before, I love the fact that that they're out there and shit. Uh, I've got a lot of games that I've played in the past that had organizations that were like that, that were there, that were good for a brief window of the game, and then afterwards they're like, nope, we're done. Nobody bothered caring anymore, and it was every man out for himself, and that just gets annoying, I suppose. Ah, damn it! I keep doing the wrong one. Damn! I need more Dr. Pepper. Because as my earlier stream says, it's what fuels gamers. Okay. The trade broker's commodity market. Now let's see if I'm still going to get... Yeah, see, bromolite is crap for sale. I mean, it's like nothing. Yeah, I got 30,000 credits for that, but it's not the 1.6 million that I'm going to get here for each one. So... Ta-da! And now I'm done with that shit. And this time, however, I'm going to try and put in 50. Actually, no. Fuck that. I'm going to go without them for now, mostly because I'm going to try and get the hell out of here. No, I keep doing the wrong one. I keep trying to hit the contacts so that I can see if there's a black market dealer here I can sell the black box to, because it's stolen. So I can get this shit off my inventory and get out of the heat signature problem. Reminds me, I gotta claim my salary. Cool. Finally get to get these all out of here.
Incoming message.
Unfortunately, though, no black market. Not cool. Okay. I have to get to this one quick. So... basically, the fastest way I have found to do, it's usually pretty easy, but the fastest way to do them, fastest way to gain reputation or whatever, in my experience so far, has been doing things like the black box missions. Some of the transit missions, like the data missions or whatever, have also been effective, but nothing has been quite as effective as some of those other ones. So I actually do appreciate stuff like that.
Landing gear retracted. Scan detected.
get out of range before those guys actually scan me. Yeah, data has been what everybody tells me is the way to go, and honestly, I've never had any problems with it. But this big old giant ship, it's just super unwieldy. And like in my cot, it's no big deal. It's super easy to get in there and do something. Even the Fer de Lance, easy to do that. A whole bunch of this, but things like this ship, it's just so much more difficult. That the black boxes, I can just drop off the limpets or whatever real quick, which I didn't pick any limpets up. When I get closer, I will have one. Yeah, I haven't ever actually maximized the number of missions. The biggest problem is, like, no matter how many missions you take at a time, it's also about location, about where you're at. So, dude, there it is. $11 bodies. Let's see. You'll have to forgive me. This is one of the things that I do in order to waste some time while I'm fuel scooping. Is just go ahead and scan this, because I can also sell this for money and get whatever. These days, the fuel scooping goes really fast, so I try to go really quick on these scans. I was worried for a second there. It says shield's online. I'm like, oh god, my shield just went offline. All right, they went offline when I did the whole thing. Never mind. One more heavenly body. Okay, fine. 3 more heavenly bodies. And that's it. Oh, I'm sure there is. I don't care. To me, most of that shit's cheating. It's not like it takes a lot of time. Like, don't get me wrong, it's weird when I'm streaming this whole thing and I'm stopping to do stuff like that, but I enjoy the extra distraction because I'm not trying to rush through the thing. I love the fact that I'm exploring all of these random locations, checking out some interesting stuff. I've actually gone all over the place just because I was curious as to what the hell was there. Saw a purple star and like, ooh, let's go look at that, you know. I do actually appreciate just the nature of it. Not to mention, that's actually how you scan for it. It's a radio frequency thing, so it's actually literally how we would be looking for planets and what have you, so. Whoa. There was absolutely nothing in this one. I don't know what you mean by "so this mining" and "to see us," though. I mean, I only know about this game from what I've personally done. I actually don't even... I avoid walkthroughs and everything on how to get things really quickly. I would love to more or less rapidly rank up in the Empire, because I have a ship waiting for me, and now I finally have the money for said ship. I'd like to finally look at it, kind of thing, but it's hardly that important. I don't have a big haul. You're just a damn fool if you think I got a big haul. Because I already sold my haul, you got screwed. The hardest time to avoid the pirates, though, was when I throttle down for something. Then you're like, fuck, screwed. I can never throttle back up fast enough. It's right to hell there, dude. 2 whole planets. See? There it is. Are you seriously happy? Alright, what kind of ship has he got? Boy, you're really gonna wish you had something else. Kind of parked right next to this fucking thing. This is exactly what I meant by, like, you know, damage-wise. This is a COT 2 right here. And I love this ship, but it takes some damage like nobody's business, man. Nope, missed me. And like, his shields are down and mine are, nah. I gotta watch out for the temperature because, you know, because. But I'll never be able to outrun him speed-wise. And I don't have a pulse wave scanner to care. So, fuck him. Dude gets his ass beat like crazy. I didn't even take any damage to my shields. Or, you know, to the hull, really. And this is just a much better fighter than his. Go fucking figure. Although she got her ass pretty kicked, it looks like. I think. Hard to tell. No, she's fine. Shit. But that was the one thing.